friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel for another scrapbooking process video. On Mondays we Maggie, so I have got episode 18 for you all today. And I thought I would be a fancy YouTuber, and I actually put a poll on my community tab in the YouTubes and asked you all which collection I should use. And everyone came back and we had loads of responses for Garden Party. So this is a stash busting series. But you know what? Garden Party's in my stash, so it totally counts. I'm really happy to create with it today by popular request. So for this layout, I'm actually going to be using two photos. I have these two of our pet cat, Ferris. He spends a lot of his time during the day sleeping, and I do like to take little snapshots of that. So I'm going to document both of these photos today. I've also got a cut file there from Cut to You called Leaf Edge, and I will leave a link below to that if you're interested. And here's the plan. So I kind of wanted to have the design sort of flow from the bottom left-hand corner to the top right-hand corner, with the idea that embellishments would go, so if you drew a line, I guess, diagonally across the layout from that bottom left hand to the top right hand corner, you would end up with a triangle, and that all of the embellishments and elements on the page would be in that top part, that top triangle, and then the bottom triangle would be a little bit more empty and would kind of balance it out with some negative space. That was the plan. I have to say at this point though, things did not go to plan. This one was a struggle, such a struggle. It took so long to make. And I still, at this point, am not sure why. In fact, I wasn't even sure whether I was going to share this layout with you, just because I just was not feeling it. The things just were not happening for me when I was creating this page. It was a real... I really had to push through, even to the point where you'll see here in a moment, I'm fussing. Now, obviously, I'm working with like my biggest elements first, like I normally would. Cut files locked in, photos are locked in, and this giant flower piece I'm really keen to use. And then I noticed with all my fussing that I've even stuck that sticker down to the background of my layout. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I know it's a little thing, but it was just at the time, because I felt like my mojo was missing and I had these beautiful, beautiful supplies to use, and it wasn't coming together in a way that I was happy, or like I was feeling very forced. I think that's the right word. The whole thing was feeling very forced. But I was like, it's Maggie Holmes Monday coming up. Everybody wants this layout to be made with this collection. In hindsight, I possibly should have changed out the photos. But I was I was committed, and I was like, just push through it. Let's see if we can make this work. So it's at this point that I was thinking maybe that floral piece is just too large. There's too many big things going on the page. So I actually switched it out for this round element that says, "Look at you grow." And I thought, no, that works. That's cute. I like the pop of black. It kind of, matches my photos, makes it all fit together. And I do fuss with that for a little while. And I guess too, at this point, normally I have a plan for the way the eye is going to travel around the page. And I did have that, as I was saying, about, the idea of filling the top sort of portion of the page with embellishments and leaving the rest blank. But I didn't really have an idea of where the eye would go, where the eye would rest, like how it would be drawn around that. I just felt like there was too many things going on, but I really only had cut file photos and nothing else. So even at this point, I got out some glue and I just glued that little leaf down because I was so desperate to feel like I had a win. I sometimes find that the process of gluing something down is like taking a breath. It's like resetting a little bit. And it was at that point that I went, no, I really do want that large floral element there. And I feel like It's a giant piece. It's quite big. I should measure it. Hang on, let me measure it. 11 centimeters. But I thought, it's quite big. But I thought the leaf in the background on the cut file is quite big. So it could be a really good time to use it up, because we all find it tricky to use the larger embellishments in these collections, and I just thought, in relation to the leaf, it kind of works and it kind of balances everything out. So I popped it back, and then I popped the little black circular element on top, and I really loved how that worked. I feel like it just blended it in. It became more of a layer. It's smaller than the leaf underneath, but bigger than the circular element that's going on top. So I was feeling a lot better about it at this point, but then I started to think about my backup clusters. So if this was going to be my main cluster, and it really had to be just based on its size, where was I going to place the other two clusters to create a bit of a visual triangle on the page? I was avoiding that thought, so I did glue down another couple of leaves. And I did pull out a couple of bows. So this one's from the chipboard sheet. And then I did have this one, which is from the thicker sticker sheet as well. And I do the little dance with the florals. I'm thinking one's going to go there. And then do I put one down lower? Do I extend that main cluster out? I'm just not sure. It's at this point too that I'm concerned that I just don't have enough of the embellishments. I do like to make embellishment heavy pages. They tend to be, quite layered, and there's lots of little bits and pieces on them, and I like that style. And this collection has a lot of little sentiments that are about growing and being happy. And like, I've got 2 pictures of my cat on this page. So it's funny, even this banner piece, I'm like, okay, I can stick that down. That's where that's going to go. And then 2 seconds later, I'm like, oh, well, is it where it's going to go? Oh, and I end up pulling it up. And it's a simple banner piece that I placed right at the beginning of the layout, and then changed my mind and then ended up changing it back. It was just one of those days where my mojo was just not quite with me. I was just a little bit off. And in the end, that's actually why I decided to share this page, because, when you're working on design teams and you're sharing a lot of pages over a long period of time, people do get a filtered view of your creative process. You only ever see the best ones. You only see the ones that are good enough for, manufacturers to share, or, even when I was working way back when in the scrapbook magazines, you only ever saw the ones that they wanted to publish. You never saw the ones that they said no to. So I thought this might be a beautiful opportunity for me to share my real process and the other side of that. And it's at this point that I actually decided to finish the layout off camera. Hey creative friends, so it's the next day, and I thought it might be a nice opportunity to show you how I finished out the layout. I did end up going with the 3 embellishment clusters, so the main one being this one here that I had started. I did build this one out a little bit more as well, so extended it out down to this side of the page. And then to create the triangle, I added just a little element here. So the triangle goes this way, and I feel like that really fits with my original plan for the page, which was this diagonal line going this way of embellishments. So I do feel like it turned out the same way as I had intended. It just took a long time to get there, didn't it? I have added a cute little bow from the chipboard sticker sheet. I'm all about them bows. And a couple of elements from the thicker sheet. These are like a puffy sticker, thicker thing. The hearts are the same texture as that. And I feel like having 3 hearts or 3 sets of hearts also kind of helps round the page out. These ones are from the collection as well. They are I guess they're an epoxy enamel kind of thing. They're quite thick though, they're quite high, but I do like how they're warm in color. They're that gold color. I feel like it balances out the photos really nicely. Everything else I think stayed the same. I do believe I added a tag here as well just to kind of fill out that little gap there. And I think that's everything. A couple of little sentiment stickers from the sticker book. And the enamel dots, of course. Those are actually from my stash though. I use them as a bit like black splatters, but in a really controlled, clean Gwen way, because I can position them exactly where I want. And I feel like they balance out the pop of the black here and then the black in the photos. So really happy to add those. I think that's the last of them in my stash. I might need to get some more. And yeah, that's everything. So thank you so much for being here, my creative friends, and watching to the end of this one. I know it must have been a bit of a journey to get here. If you like the way that I scrapbook or the way that I chat about the way that I scrapbook, I would love it if you would give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you all in the next one. Until then, bye.